This is some Men of War Midnight Madness in a big old 6v6 on a big old 8v8 map. And already it looks like we're getting some hefty teamwork. We've got mechs over here. Perhaps French, he's got FR and DE. Those are both letters I would consider to be in the French alphabet. And that's what I base my opinion on. But going out here with a 2-2-3, and of course we've got a motorcycle here from Fragomatic. Moving on the right-hand side, plenty of infantry going all across the map. Now, because this is an 8v8 map, with only 6 players per side, they're going to have to spread themselves a lot thinner, but we have a huge cluster of German infantry, more over to the left-hand side of the map, the southwestern fronts. But let's take a quick look at all the players, because there are many, many famous faces here as well. As we look in the middle of battlefields, Van Camel over there with a Jeep. But rather than reading out all the names, let's get to the action. That Jeep is easily going to be destroyed. I think he's even trying to use a bit of that palm tree for cover there, but didn't work out quite well for it. The motorcycle trying to keep its distance as well. With that Jeep down, we just need to scour for infantry, and it's exactly what it does. Come through! Oh my god! Sending in individual riflemen. It ain't going to work too well. For this, we need some form of anti-tank rifle. They are the Brits. They did opt to go for the Brits over the American faction, claiming that it would be too difficult. Where's the challenge? We like challenges in Men of War Assault Squad, but this 2-2-3 really paying for itself at the moment. Sitting here, suppressing infantry moving in on the ridge side, totting up their grenades, and there again, come through all across this hill. But he's not making the most amazingest defense, I would say. He's having to retreat away from the sandbags, and the sandbags are claimed by the Germans, but incoming, hopefully, what looks to be a fantastic grenade. Claims 2 kills, wonderful. Let's check over on the right-hand side of the map, because this appears to be having much more difficulty. I mean, there's a lot of infantry moving out. They've only just arrived here, but claiming these zones seems to be somewhat delayed. We have single individual soldiers around here as well from both players, both sides. In fact, interesting, hardly any defense down there. That would be relatively easy to lock down and then try and hold onto this hill. But the players are going to manage the resources mostly in the middle of the map. And the Germans are actually just blitzkrieging up here. We have an AT rifle as well. Again, come through. He's already like making himself the star player of the game. But the 2-2-3 is going to back away from that because, well, rock, paper, scissors, AT rifle wins, clearly. Over on the right, though, it does seem we have conflict finally on these flag points. The German army looking well endowed in assault zones. Do claim some of these defenses as well, blowing up that tower, making sure that none of the enemies can claim that. Rez Antoniou is over here, by the way, and I believe I played with him in one of the previous Let's Plays, and he was kind of wrecking me. So we'll see if he does make a good storming offensive front on these flag points over here, but it looks as if there's just many flags, many sandbags down, some sneaking infantry. Careful not to sprint this, got to stay low, Assault Squad leader here with the grenade. Oh, here it comes. Fantastic. That rifle grenade is a pretty awesome weapon for the Commonwealth Army that are only obtained by buying assault squads. The assault squad leader, we have an MG42 down here, which is just not going to survive very long, thanks to the Leacon 20mm, a famous British emplacement in Men of War Assault Squad, very heavily used by professional players. Over on the left, though, we have that 2-2-3 move over there, and that's fantastic, by the way, because not many. Oh, yeah, half-track delivering a flak here as well. Great, more emplacements here. A second Jeep out on the field. That's not going to survive too well against this heavily armored half-track. But as I was stating, in large maps, when you've got so many teammates, it's very, very common for people to sort of sit on one flag point. This is my flag point, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take care of this flag point. And then you'll buy something like a light vehicle, and then you'll just sit it in the middle point, and then like it'll die at some point. Oh, the MG's been captured by Van Camel. Wonderful, but there's hardly any infantry over here to resist the Commonwealth push onto the central flag point. But once your light vehicle, or J for example, has sort of expired its use in the middle, find out where else it can be useful for your teammates, because it is a team-based game, so you have to kind of do that. We had a big push here from Staker right through the lines of the enemy, but not very well micromanaged. That whole squad just being absolutely decimated by the likes of the Cromwell Mark 8. And the middle flank point, the British are holding on to that for now. There goes the Jeep and the palm tree. We have a dodge here. This symbolizes that there are some Royal Engineers on the field, perhaps constructing some emplacements or some mines. I can't figure out for the likes of me what one of the players on the British team wants to do with that or hopes to achieve, but I'm sure we will find out later. Maybe it's just that they're feeling very uncomfortable about the situation that the Germans are pushing straight through that warehouse. And now they're going to knock down some of these sandbags, awkwardly positioned as well, but we can use the half-track as cover. Staker may do that. So you notice Staker far left of the map, far right of the map with his light half-track as well. That infantry should be able to claim these sandbags. And we've got a front line sort of going all the way down here at the moment. Res Antonio, plenty of infantry. We even had a Crusader come down here, knocking on some of the walls here. That half-track just careening its way through the enemy front lines. In comes another Crusader, which just wonderful flips there as well. The Crusader tank, like any real-life picture of the Crusader tank I've seen, is always in the desert warfare. I think that was the only place it was like deployed. Was it? I would love to see some fact finders comment on that one, but I've seen some beautiful pictures of Crusaders, just Crusader wreckages in the desert. The J is moving up with infantry support. RMG needs to be rotated. Come on, Sekia clip. Hey, Sekia. If that's how you pronounce the name, there's always going to be discrepancies in how people's names prefer to be pronounced, because spelling is weird and miraculous. Ooh, we have a medium AT gun there hitting that J. Not penetrating, though. That's quite lucky for the J, I would say. The J, I would not expect to withstand the frontal flat-facing shot from a medium AT gun twice. Paratroopers over here, you can tell they do look a bit different. I love that about Men of War. And they are not doing a fantastic job, I would say. We're already 3 casualties, 4 casualties down there. I guess it's mainly because of this commando squad behind the sandbag line. They just do not withstand up to this kind of firepower from that range. And in comes a Daimler with a Olicon spread up to the back as well, going to reinforce that area. That Flak 38 moved over to the left-hand side of the map earlier on, evidently destroyed, so it's no longer there and usable, which is a very, very big shame. We have an M4A4 Sherman, just a regular plain old Sherman coming out here against a 222. This should not end well for the 222. Dodges one shot. Ooh, very, very close. Gonna try and back up behind this building. Will it strike lucky? Yes, a second miss. And this building should offer additional protection. The Germans seem to be actually holding their ground. They were late to this right-hand side of the map, the northeast, but they have somewhat stood their ground so far. Like, they were pushing a little bit, and now they've dug in, and that's what it seems that they want to accomplish now, is just dig their feet into the ground and hold those 2 points there, whilst they focus their emphasis pretty much on the middle point and the left-hand point. It seems the Daimler comes in right into the side shot of the J. It misses, it hits the dirt, and that's just a catastrophic fail on behalf of... Who the hell was this? By the way, I completely missed the name too late. That's a shame. Well, whoever that was, they don't have to be named and shamed. That's fortunate enough for them. But there is going to be a counter-assault from Sekia, moving in some Brandenburgers, the hero infantry troopers. Machine gunner here, eagerly awaiting to get back into the battlefield, using his medkit. H is out on the field as well, approaching from a rather rough angle. I would have thought, like, this hill is not going to do the H any sort of goodness. There we go. We got a Cromwell firing at it, taking away some of the plating on the side. Absolutely fantastic. And now over in the left, the half-track is gunning down the remainers of the paratrooper squad. In fact, these are just riflemen. The paratroopers already been entirely depleted. Bit of a push here. The Brandenburgers are moving in, chucking grenades over the top. They do get some fantastic kills. Lots of heavy cover here as well. I really love, like, this area of the map. It's quite a nice place to find infantry engagements supported with light vehicles. Generally, just like, I feel it's probably due to the terrain, like how it's formed, but it's not too far away. Like, if you stick an AT gun up there or a vehicle, it's not too hard to get a side shot on it. But with light vehicles and stuff, You can easily try and navigate around these hills, around the side, pop up when you need to, pop back down when you need to, avoid any dangerous shots. But infantry also works very, very well. The Brandenburger are especially well suited to this kind of combat. Lots of heavy cover for them to obtain. Left-hand side flag point seems to be having quite a lot of German casualties. It seems to have many German soldiers moving in, but not really taking, you know, any afflictions off of the enemy. Like that, they just sit there, not being inflicted with any kind of wounds. Why is this? It's an easy point to hold down, I guess, from their point of the map. Like, I would certainly say it's harder to assault that from this side of the map than it is for them to hold it on that side of the map. Van Kammel moving in to that central flag point. He's going to claim that. Current points 18 to 15, German favored. We have quite a few vehicles on the field. One of them tracked, in fact. H is moving in over there. We've got a 222 in the back, just eagerly awaiting to get back into the front lines after this. Frickin' Sherman's out of the way, which is how it should go. Taking out the heavy vehicles and then bringing in your light vehicles to support your infantry. You'd rather lose a light vehicle than a heavy vehicle. And we've got the Crusader also being taken out as well. And it's not looking too good, in fact, for the British at the moment. They're losing quite a lot of tanks. The flag being ran over there, just making sure that's out of the way. None of these riflemen, though, touched by the Crusader. Crusader just now realizes that there is a whole line of guys, and that is not looking pleasant. Oh, red giblets absolutely just across the entire map there. Oh, we got some pinging on the map. The pinging is Cromwell. That's the point of interest we have here. I don't see... Yeah, we got the Brandenburger. I know there's Brandenburger equipped with the Panzerfaust around here somewhere, but this is not them. That's a regular assault squad. They're, in fact, still manning these walls here. That's what we need to send them round, but we're going to try and get an AT grenade right onto the engine. This isn't going to work, by the way. Let's... Why try? Why does this happen? Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to sacrifice all of the soldiers into the enemy front lines? Well, the real answer to that is because it's stupid to do so. However, I don't believe that's the answer that he would have come up with. He wanted to kill that. But that's the way it goes. 222-3, 223 coming in. It's going to run down that machine gun. Yeah, just gets it. I thought it was about to turn out the way, but we have very, very good pings. We have very, very good performance. These players will be performing at pretty much the highest performance they could ever play at. Like, usually in games you'll have high latency or someone with a back computer, and that can really traumatize your game as you can't use direct control as much as you would like to. And when you do use it, it tends to be worse than if you didn't bother using it in the first place, but that's not going to happen here. In fact, what we're going to have here is top-of-the-line micro. Van Kammel does finally get that J with Daimler. Maybe that was his attempt before. Psychologically speaking, I would say it was probably him last time because he's doing it again. Or maybe he's trying to show up some teammate and say, look, no, this is how you do it, man. This is... Because he's like that. He definitely uses that kind of language. The far right-hand point has been pushed by the Germans. Congratulations to Delete. Is that like... Oh, 377. That's not 1337. That's the elitist one. But D337 manages to claim that flag point. Well done to him. Don't sit back. Attack. Staker is encouraging, trying to boost up some morale of the friendly commanders on the battlefield. And it seems that Matilda is actually going to retreat a little bit. It does have something to fear. There was a H here. The H is still here, in fact. Matilda wants to play. I wonder why the Matilda wants to play. I'm not too sure the chances of that Matilda surviving. Oh, the crew injured on the H. The H did like... I would have thought the H won this one, but we're going to learn something new and very valuable here. There we go. We finally get the track damage, and perhaps we can move a little bit to the right and get a good side shot on it. Perhaps would have to move too far to the right. I don't know how risky Mex wants to do this. So fired a shot from the Matilda, and the H is going to fire back. In fact, this is a Comet over here. The Matilda was way to the left of that. Not that way, but a little bit away. I didn't realize there was two tanks there. My mistakes. The Daimler coming in again. Van Kammel is going to show us how to do it. That H is rotating its turret and gets the main gun, which means this is going to be a victory for that Daimler, and it's going to show you why you should have bazookas supporting generally, you know, just in a general area. You want to find it in a place where you can easily run it into a position where you need, and that Pack 40 is not helping whatsoever. We've got a second HVAC there as well. That's missing a shot. Track damage. Can the Daimler finally penetrate the engine? It's got an engine shot. The crew is injured. And finally, the hull is damaged on that Daimler. They'll have to try and destroy that Daimler fully with a TNT, but it ain't going to happen because the crew are down. And we are getting a wonderful Comet and a half-track push. Hello, Western Ranger? Is that like a play on the word Western there with the different spellings? But with the very limited German infantry in the area, they should be able to push in here and reclaim this territory. Pushing onwards like to this flag point, however, is going to be much more difficult for them. However, they are currently leading in the assault zone points, 35 to 18. The Germans have been struggling on that 18 points for a while now. These Daimlers are proving to be very, very effective. It's looking pretty damn good. I mean, we've got a Lux here as well. It almost looks like this Lux has managed to take out a Cromwell, which I don't believe for a second, but I wish. I'm going to phantasmically believe that that is what happened. So many things going to be happening on a 6v6 map that you just can't possibly capture at all. And if we did have replay systems, which hopefully Court Arms will, I would certainly go back and check out stuff. Although I believe, unlike Company of Heroes, I would have to record a Men of War game like 3 or 4 times to fully capture all of the important action. There's just so much cool stuff in Man of War Assault Squad that can be happening all at once. All Econ saturating that 223, making sure that it's fully destroyed. Supporting the infantry moving up in this area. The Germans seem to have held onto this area for quite some time, but that time is still going to continue. In fact, I'm not seeing any German infantry. I wonder why that wasn't capturing. Oh, he's alive? Oh, he is feigning death there. He is freaking feigning the deaths completely. Must be out of line of sight. Maybe some body blocking there. The bodies actually block line of sight. No one can see him. Let's just keep my eyes closed. No one will be able to see me. There we go. Finally, someone managed to find him. And double all Econ on this hill now. They really want to hold on to this point and not go one step further. But in comes the Flak 37. I'm not too sure if 37 is a reasonable response to the 20mm cannons on top of the hill, but you know, whatever floats your boat, Staker. You've been proving yourself a pretty good commandeer in this game. Screw that palm tree. That palm tree was a traitor with the Rebel Alliance. And comes our Comet as well. Heavy pushing now from the Brits on the right-hand side of the map. I do like focused efforts, and we are seeing I would say a marginal focused effort here. Not as much as the Germans have really been working together with the light vehicles. The Daimlers, though, can't knock it. The Daimler support across the board has been absolutely fantastic. It's contributed to a lot of casualties amongst the German armor. However, that H over on the right will be able to be repaired. Looks like it already has received the repairs it needs. The Stug just drive straight in there. Taken out by... I completely missed that. Was that the Comet tank? I just missed over on the left-hand side. There's that Comet tank up front there. And these all Econs finally doing their supporty work. The British Army maintain control of that area for now and should be able to hold on to it for a while, except the 37's proving itself pretty handy. That one shot from the Brandenburger only just making sure that our 37 doesn't receive a hateful, spiteful grenade. But an interesting use there. The Firefly is not going to be able to pop up over this hill and take a risky gamble at the 37, because the 37 would just destroy that as soon as it reveals itself to it. So we're going to have to play infantry against infantry if we can move up here. And perhaps what Staker will be doing is still got the half-track here, which can indeed lend its support as well. But not only will have infantry coming there, but he might have a vehicle of his own, a light vehicle to go support. And just push up ahead a little bit more. Maybe try and goad his enemy into, you know, coming out. Come out of the shadows, will ya? Take some 37 fire. It'll be wondrous. We got that self-propelled, freaking irritating Cromwell arc fire 95mm tank. I wonder if we're going to see a Stu 42 out here. I don't know, but they are firing. Oh, we got a Panther out here. They do want to take out that mortar. I think that's not a bad idea with the 95mm to take out the mortar with it. I don't know if it was in response to the mortar. I'd probably question that just a little bit, but as long as it doesn't get taken out by the Panther. We do have a Stu-42 here, by the way, utilizing some of these hills here to block shots. Oh, the Panther's got a fantastic hit on that Cromwell. It could be the end of the Cromwell as we know it. Using the J is additional armor as well. Engine damaged. That could be on fire. That could be burning. And, by the way, we have one sneak guy back here. It's from Staker. Making sure to keep eyes on the enemy. We have advanced intelligence. Wonderful. I really love advanced intelligence. It offers so much play capabilities. Like, you can just see something come out and you say, okay, that thing I wanted to rush and buy, I don't want to rush and buy it now. I know what's coming. I know what to expect. You can sort of hold off. And it's literally like about a minute timings, these things. Especially early on in the game as well. Excuse the hair, by the way. I just got out of the shower and someone said, 6v6 Inuki! Okay, let's go. Let's do this. 6v6 it is. Rez Antonio with a Matilda. Someone with an Orlikon. Me with a story that I was saying and I've completely negated the fact because freaking hell there's so much going on. The MGs have decided to move up behind these sandbags. The Brits are holding on to them now, which were originally placed by the German army. I believe, I don't know, I can't remember history lessons. We've got a Tulip out on the battlefield as well. It has just crushed a whole load of guys, and they are screaming in agony and fire and stuff. And then a final one shot to the brain Zors. Anzacs are out on the field as well. What the hell is going off here? It shows like there's some kind of vehicle here on my map. I think it might be bugged. It might ever... Unless that helmet counts as a vehicle, it just might as well be bugged. But regardless, Stu-42 still alive. The Germans hold on to the central point. That's good stuff. The Germans are also moving up back onto Orlikon Hill is what I'll be calling it from now on. And Orlikon Hill is looking pretty damn clear of those Orlikons now. And that Firefly did, in fact, decide to come up and gamble against the 37. The left-hand point from Staker is looking great. The Stu-2 should be able to clear up all of the infantry around this zone. Plenty of vehicles which have been disassembled for their parts. So 50 Celts will be around here somewhere, if not already used effectively against the enemy. It would be great to see some sandbags just along this axis, because your enemy can't use those sandbags to his advantage since you're approaching from the opposite angle. But it works very effectively against him. You see these sandbags here? Like, these sandbags can be used by the German side. Like, we can use them. Any infantry approaching from this direction will just be killed. However, if we place those sandbags in a line like this way, the Germans can't use them so effectively because the Brits can just come down from this side of the map. But lots of infantry. There we go. We're getting these sandbags down. Filthy doing exactly what I had hoped for. In fact, just slightly off screen, I was like looking here, and there's the infantry doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Our H is still alive here. We've got a Crusader, which could be receiving repairs. Crew injured. What we go with Tango with this? It's a Comet tank. The Comet tank right from the front. A shot just goes right over the top of it. The Tulip looks like it's ready to fire a second payload. Oh, we got the H down there. And what do we got over here? It's a Panther tank. Panther should be able to take out this Tulip. Now, maybe if a Tulip gets a lucky shot on right onto the top turret, it could do some superficial damage against that main gun. However, I don't like the chances, and I don't like the gamble. Just randomly blind firing mechs be doing. Can't find a target, though. There's no impact shots in the fog of war. Meanwhile, German infantry are scattered around this flag point here, waiting to move in on that zone. The paratroopers are going to try and seize these sandbags. One of them runs into the zone, and he is just going to get shot down by hail of gunfire. It's a no-go zone at the moment. We even got Panzer Grenadiers. Lots of elite infantry play from the Germans, indeed. Still no vehicle here. However, the Firefly looking like it's actually getting a shot on the Stu. Is that connecting? It looks like a difficult shot. It does get it, and it knocks it out completely. Great. It's exactly what the British players need to sort of really end this game even more quicker. The Germans only holding on to 19 points currently, and there goes a Tulip. It's a bit of a risky Tulip. That's kind of unfortunate for them. We even have a 37 nailed down on the right-hand side of the map, so two 37s hanging around. Fragomatic holding on to that one. Whatever happened to the other 37 on this side of the map, because I am struggling to find out where it has been positioned. It looks like it may have been destroyed, in fact. It's a sad day, and also Along with that being destroyed, Staker is getting the entire of his paratrooper squad destroyed, which I would say is not the best kind of play you can have for a paratrooper squad micro, but you know, whatever floats your boat sometimes. Just one lone paratrooper squad. Can't even pop his head up over the sandbag because the damn bloody British are shooting at him. I mean, he tried his best, bless him, but it was just staggeringly against him. Crusader's going to knock out all these sandbags now. Van Camel really putting on the pressure on that central flag zone. The Germans are not going to be able to hold on to this one for much longer at all. In comes a Bren carrier as well. That is going to seal the deal. It's a shame. But the Stu-42 disappearing now. That was okay, because that was going to... Nothing we could have done with that at all. Maybe take the TNT out of it. Always gotta love TNT. I like some TNT. Panthers facing its frontal armor against that Firefly. And the McFirefly, one-shotted, killer shot. You gotta see it. This Panther doing a world of good now. And I think that was... that Staker brought this truck in to actually, like, block the Bren carrier from actually driving into the mortar. I think that was going to happen there. We're going to use collisions to our advantage. Again, another amazing turn of events. However, the Germans ain't going to win this game based on their collision factors with a Bren carrier against a truck. But regardless, there's still a fight going on. 71 points currently to the British. They're so close. Half tracks from Infernum Catus. Salute to you, Infernums. Welcome to the game. So many players we have to introduce, and we'll eventually introduce all. We'll see them all. Staker moving in with an infantry squad now. Is he just going to blob-tastic this one up? He sends them all prone. And then we send 4 guys to go man a wall. We're going to send them 5 guys, maybe to man some more walls. Just put them down here. Leave them to do whatever they feel like it. We're getting some pinging on this all econ. That is what we want to focus our fire on. The veteran Tiger out here, shooting way far into the distance, just over the top of that all econ. He really wants that, and then his infantry can move, and he does manage to get it as well, which means he can finally take this zone with much more safety, using the potholes in the ground to obtain that as well. The central flag zone currently completely neutralized. Germans moving in on that one. Sekia with a Panzer Grenadier squad, rather. Going to claim some sandbags as well as the Germans take fire from the hill. Oh, a catastrophic shot against them. Lots of Panzer Grenadiers dying in that barrage. We have our 95mm Cromwell. Oh, that was repaired, I believe. So that's back into the action. And Mortar doing very well to just kind of hold on to the middle, do a lot of damage against the infantry approaching into that zone. It's very effective the longer that survives in the game. There's not a unit which pays off instantly. It is always a unit which can only pay off over, you know, we're talking like 15 minutes at least here. Because it's relatively inaccurate, when you want to get a specific target as well, usually tend not to destroy it, and you have to put it into lots of dangerous situations. But regardless, it's very easy to micro. You set it down, it does its job. You can send it to fire on specific targets, and just it'll do it. You don't have to worry about it too much. So on this map, kind of an interesting decision. Mortars are effective in urban environments, but it's paid off quite well here as well. Staggeringly survived against the Cromwell 95mm. Fragomatic having some connections issues now, which means maybe they're going to be a player down. Dum. Oh, I'm just doing so poorly on this game. I'm not really feeling myself. I'm a bit ill. I've only got like no infantry kills or casualties, to be fair. Fragomatic has apparently crashed. GG from Infernum. Fragger on the German team, which means we're a player down. It's an upsetting sight. However, lots of battles to be fought. It was awesome. We like big, heavy battles. We even had a Pack 43 coming out to equalize. But for now, I guess, see you next time. I'm InukiTV. Or shall we continue with a King Tiger? Or a Jagd Panther? Or a Sturm Tiger? Oh my god, can I have, like, both, please? There you go, Staker. Special bonus content with Staker and a King Tiger. Awesome. And they're going to get a wonderful old Sturm Tiger as well. So this game will continue on, and we'll see what happens. Because, you know, why not? If there's there's some time left over at the end of the game, let's have a bit of fun. They've already GG. They've already surrendered. They've already won. But I'm waiting for this Sturm Tiger to come out because in 1 minute's time I want to see some awesome Sturm Tiger shots. It's going to be funny, it's going to be hilarious. The Daimler coming out here to run over the... right in the gut. Don't you hate it when you destroy a Daimler and then it just runs over all of your shit. But anyway, with that King Tiger moving over onto probably the center of the map where I would imagine it was going to be the most effective. Although the right hand side of the map, that's pretty flat. Lots of places to hide in cover, but, you know, it's heavily armored. Might be able to survive a great deal of amount. We even have Pampers out on the field, lots of light vehicles coming out here. Veteran Tigers moving over on there. Panzerwerfers too. This is a real mobilized army. King Tiger, looks like it's taken some heavy shots already. I don't know what from. 10 seconds until our Sturm Tiger. 92 points for the Brits. 8 more points to go. Please send infantry in there somewhere. All of the middle points at the moment going into the hands of the Brits. And who should we give this one to? Sekia, because he's working on the middle as well. Staker really going in with a lot of vehicles. He just wants a point. He wants a point desperately. He wants a point now. And if he doesn't get it now, then it's pretty much game over. So, you know what? It's exactly what you would hope to expect at the end of the game. And we've seen so many games in Men of War history which have ended because people just don't shove in their stuff. It's like, no, I want to make my unit survive. And even though that unit survives to the end of the game, it's the end of the game, they've lost. They may as well just killed that unit anyway and tried and hoped to get a point. Because even if they lose the King Tiger after obtaining the point, they've bought themselves time at least. Staker is going to sit there with the King Tiger. Its track is doing fine. Like, send that King Tiger in. Just go for it. Go absolutely batshit insane on this point here. And see what happens there. The Sturm Tiger. That's not a Sturm Tiger. That's not a Sturm Tiger. That's not a Sturm Tiger. There's the Sturm Tiger. I think the Sturm Tiger may have just fired. Or is it about to fire? Oh, let's hope it's about to fire. Because 2 points left. We want a Sturm Tiger firing. Damn it. Come on. Come on. Come on, Sekia. Come on. Mush. Yeah, fuck you, machine gun. Along with 6 kills overall. That was absolutely abysmal considering this target here. Gonna end the game twice in this video, in fact. See you later, guys.